Here we go. Saturday night, monster matchup, Louisville on the road to take on Clemson. A 5-point move in this game already. Louisville now the favorite, laying 67.5 the total, Teddy. People can't get enough of Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, look at the numbers. From day one this season, okay? Everyone that's made a bet on Louisville has continued to bet Louisville, or it certainly seems that way to the sportsbooks directors that both you and I have talked to. And you look at the numbers. I mean, week 1 against Charlotte, they opened 37, they closed 38.5. Week 2 against Syracuse, a 3-point move. Week 3 against Florida State, a 5-point move towards Louisville, all Louisville money. Against Marshall last week, some of that had to do with the fact the Thundering Herd didn't have their quarterback, but it was a 7-point move towards Louisville. So this game opened Clemson -3 in some spots. Now it's Louisville -2. So we're talking about another 5-point move. The markets are on it, and the books, they've been a little bit, I'm not going to say asleep at the wheel, but I think they've underestimated the market support for Louisville. Obviously they have, being that every single week the line's gone up to support the Cardinals.
We love Lamar Jackson. We got on this bandwagon early, but it's worth bringing up. This is one of the toughest environments in college football, and now you look at Jackson's experience on the road. You see his career starts Marshall, Syracuse, Kentucky, Pittsburgh, Wake, Florida State, and NC State. The only tough one was at Florida State, and they lost by 20, and I'm pleasantly surprised by this Clemson defense this year.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking Lamar Jackson, okay? Louisville showed us pretty clearly against Florida State that it's not just Lamar Jackson. That defense is pretty darn good too, and that defense had a lot of success against Clemson last year. So you talk about Clemson's defense being good. You talk about the fact that this is as tough an environment as any road team's going to face all season. And you talk about the fact that Lamar Jackson, with those road starts, the only truly nasty defense he faced was at Florida State. And as you mentioned, they lost that game by 20. So we have Clemson's defense really good. We have Louisville's defense really good. And yet, look at this total. Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson are going to get all the hype here, and deservedly so. We're talking about two quarterbacks that will be playing on Sundays, but it's also worth noting, Marshall couldn't prepare for Lamar Jackson last week. Who would Doc Holliday possibly have on his roster that can run the Louisville plays in practice? Well, Clemson, they see Deshaun Watson in practice every single day. So much easier to emulate Jackson. So we have two defenses that are familiar with the type of quarterback that they're going to see on Saturday. I don't know that points in this game are going to be quite as easy as some people do to come by.
Yeah, this is amazing again. Clemson's in the title game last year, and they're going up and down the field against Alabama, and Watson torched them. And here they are, they come in undefeated, and they're getting points at home. Forget what happened in his personal life and what he did to the Atlanta Falcons. Petrino's a dynamite coach, Teddy. What do you think of the coaching matchup here? Who has the edge?
Well, let me put it this way. I'm not a guy that goes against Petrino very often. That being said, there's two schools of thought here. The one school of thought here is that, look, when you look at the preseason games of the year, Clemson was double digits in this game. Now they're home underdogs to Louisville. And Louisville's been real good. They haven't gone on the road and beaten a team like Clemson yet. You say there's an enormous amount of value on Clemson in this ballgame. And several sharp bettors I've talked to this week really like the Tigers in this ballgame. They put substantial wagers down on Clemson. That being said, there's another school of thought here that is, here's Louisville, and every week they're taking money. And every week the markets are betting Louisville. And the markets haven't caught up with how good this team is yet. And when you have a team that, you jack up the power rating, and the markets still haven't caught up with where they are, those don't tend to be teams that have any interest in stepping in front.
Hey guys, for the full video, go to SBRpicks.com.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SBR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.